Hey y'all, it's Lindsey. Today, let's do a what I eat in a day video on a low carbish, keto-ish lifestyle. I'm kind of feeling like a little bit of a weird taste in my mouth when I say the word lifestyle now, so I don't know what that's about. But I also have Hashimoto's thyroiditis. That has been a recent diagnosis, like as in it's been less than 4 months since I received that diagnosis. So we're just kind of working our way through what needs to happen in order to calm that down. Um, so far, I have started the day with some black coffee, which is my preferred method of consuming the cafe. This is what I'm going to eat today. And just because I eat these things today doesn't mean that it's going to be the same tomorrow. Although breakfast I have had on repeat. A little hyperfixation never hurt anybody whenever it's just like a short-term hyperfixation, right? Okay, got to get some brekkie. I have been having this breakfast on repeat now for I don't know how long, and I'm not tired of it yet, so I keep moving forward. It's just some scrambled eggs and some sauteed greens. I started with some avocado oil in my skillet, tossed a giant handful of some spring mix in there, let that get all wilted down and delightful. Shoved that to the side and then added in 3 eggs that I scrambled up, cooked that in the remaining avocado oil, topped everything with my homemade mayonnaise and some sriracha. I half debated on doing some Cholula, but sriracha seems to be what I've been gravitating towards the most. I do season everything with my Redmond real salt. If you are unfamiliar, this is my favorite salt, and I think it should become yours too. There's a link down in the description box. I buy this by massive, massive bags, 25-pound bags, 10-pound bags. It's seriously the best. And then I've got just some water here. One of the things I hear all the time in the health, wellness, diet, fitness space is to choose something that is sustainable, make it a lifestyle, make it a long-term, like forever kind of a thing. Like, oh, I can do XYZ forever. I see myself being capable of sticking to this diet in perpetuity. And one of the things that kind of struck me as I was like thinking through that and listening to some different podcasts and things is the concept that our bodies are never stagnant, right? Like, when you're a baby, you grow really rapidly and your body changes quickly, and then you go through the puberty, and then, you are shifting. Like, you're never, ever, ever like at a stagnant perpetuity place. You're always like slowly ebbing and flowing. So why then do we believe we have to keep a specific diet forever? Like, my body is changing all the time. I'm 41 years old and my body has had babies. I went through growing adolescence. I went through puberty. I went through all of those decades of just being in my fertile years, and I'm still there, but things are not the same as they were when I was 20. It's very different now. My hormones are definitely constantly shifting toward that next phase of life, but they're not stagnant in one fixed place right now. So why on earth do I need to have a fixed mindset of permanently staying on one type of eating that is working for me now when it could potentially shift in the future? And I think that's one thing that I hope that I have given clarity to or context to on my channel, that I'm not here to forever do something. Like, it's a lifestyle right now, but I'm open to always like learning more information, learning the different pieces that come together, putting different puzzle pieces together to try to better understand how does my body function and how can I make it work as optimally as possible. I keep fussing with my hair, be blessed. How can I make it work as optimally as possible so that, why do I even bother with this? So that I can take care of my family, so that my husband and I can go have adventures, so that I can engage in our community, so I can just be part of this thing called life. I don't know. It's not the end goal. And I don't think that having a permanent mindset, like a fixed mindset, that I am always going to be within this one thing is really wise on our parts, because our bodies don't even stay in the same place forever. Here I have a burger and pork rinds. This is just a 6-ounce
burger patty that I air fried in my Z-Star air fryer grill. That thing works so well for this. I seasoned it using the Redmond Real Salt seasoned salt. I clearly like this quite a lot, as more than 2/3 of this container are gone. I also used the Z-Star to pop all of these pork rinds. These are the Rudolph Food pork pellets that I get. And then just pop them through the air fryer. You can also do these in the microwave in a brown paper bag. I like both methods. This time, since the air fryer was preheated, I went ahead and used it for the pork rind pellets. I also have some cucumber and carrots. And then I've got the last little bits of ranch dressing. I'm going to obviously need to replenish this very soon. And then some plain old LaCroix.
Hey, are you subscribed yet? Because if not, you're totally invited. Here I have a chicken salad. So it is a bed of spring mix that I tossed here in my bowl. And then I made some chicken salad. I cooked a chicken breast, chopped it up. I used some of my homemade mayonnaise, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and I used some minced onion in it, along with a stalk of celery that I chopped up. Stirred it all up. I love doing chicken salad or an egg salad. It's just very refreshing, especially whenever it's so hot outside. And then I also, speaking of hot, have some electrolytes. This is the new version of Mondo Melon. Ever since I got my Hashimoto's thyroiditis diagnosis, I have had to take a lot of steps to sort of like reorient my life so that I can get a handle on that, so that I can help to minimize the impact of that diagnosis. And it's kind of weird because my symptoms don't actually line up with the Hashimoto's thyroiditis as it's like traditionally described. Like the fatigue thing is just not big in my life at all. And then a lot of my symptoms are like crossover symptoms. And I think that's true for a vast majority of different issues. Like the symptoms that you're having, you can put them all into the Chat GPT and it will tell you, oh, well, that could be 17 different things depending on how severe things are or what your labs show, or, it's just, there are so many different options out there for different diagnoses, right? And ultimately, I would like to be diagnosed with nothing. I would just like to live as a human and be content with my life. Back when my functional doctor told me that I needed to eliminate the dairy and really try to figure out some of these health markers and get all the blood work done that I had been not doing, she told me that I really need to eliminate stressors that are unnecessary and then figure out how to manage the stress that is necessary, that you cannot get rid of. So I've done a pretty reasonable job of getting rid of the unnecessary stressors. And I have taken up the practice of not eating past 6 o'clock so that physiological stress of digesting can be hopefully mostly wrapped up by the time we go to bed. And usually I cut my food off around 6 o'clock and we don't usually go to bed till about 10. Now there are exceptions where we either are out doing an activity late or we're having dinner with friends or something like that. And those exceptions are totally manageable. But as sort of a general practice, cutting off my eating window by 6 p.m. has been such a blessing in disguise. It means that kitchen gets closed at 6 p.m. for me. Now, husband, children, if they still need food, they are more than welcome to it. But whenever I gave myself that specific hard cut, that alleviated so many things. It also meant that if I'm still hungry and it's getting to that time, I either need to figure it out or just be content with water. It also means that I have consumed significantly less decaf coffee. I do drink coffee that is caffeinated, in the morning. But usually after the first couple of cups, I've switched over to decaf and then tend to drink that throughout the remainder of the day. Not that I really think that that's, a great habit, but it always felt better knowing that I was switching to decaf after a certain time of day. But
with me having my hard cutoff at 6 p.m. now, I'm not going back to the Keurig and getting a decaf coffee. I'm not creating a hot chocolate using like my collagen from Marigold Foods. I'm not creating any kind of like little extra sweets or anything like that. I'm not having a Ninja Creamy. I'm not having any of those things. So that has tremendously helped to just sort of like reduce a physiological stressor, you know, with the act of digesting on my body. And that has been quite the interesting experience. And it's kind of nice to know, like, after this certain time, we're all done thinking about food. And that's kind of a nice little like brain break as well. So I just told you all that stuff for the explicit purpose of explaining why I'm all done having food for the day, and I hope to see you in my next video.